What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we will be working on this 2013 Nissan Sentra. We will be fixing the whole brake system on this vehicle. But before we get this video started, let me remind you all that we are a bilingual and international channel, and we post 2 new videos each week, one in Spanish, one in English, and we post 1 tool review each month. With that being said, let's get to the video. Before we get into the video, let me tell you guys why I didn't upload this video last week. Since spring is already here and some of the plants are already blossoming, I got real sick because I have a lot of allergies. And when I was about to do the voiceover to this video, I lost my voice and I couldn't do it. Right now, I'm not doing so well, but I'm a lot better, and at least I could release this video in English. I'm not sure if I am gonna be able to release this one on Spanish also, because I am running out of breath and I have a real sore throat. But let's give it a shot. The reason we are fixing the brakes on this vehicle, it's because when I bought it, the disc brakes has surface rust, just like these ones. And when I test drove the car, it was braking okay, but it was making some weird noises. So now we're gonna take these disc brakes and refurbish them, so we can install this one on the vehicle. We are gonna do a true restoration. Not like some other YouTubers that they say they restore drum brakes or disc brakes by just spraying on some paint and make them look good. When I was about to paint these discs, it was real cold. This is why I am using a blowtorch to heat up the part. We are using engine paint to restore these disc brakes. It might be weird looking to be overspraying on the braking surfaces, but we are gonna take these discs to a machine shop so they could get turned. This is one of the reasons that we are taking off this disc brakes. And I don't know if you could look at the camera, that this disc brake, it's all glazed. And it wasn't stopping the vehicle as it should. Also, the brake pads were a little low. So that's why we're gonna replace everything. Check out this new resurfaced disc brake. It looks just brand new. We are gonna wipe this disc brake with some brake cleaner, so that way we take all the contaminants that could end up on our brake pads. We also are gonna clean up the bracket and the sliding pins. We are gonna add a coat of anti-seize over the sliding pins and anywhere else that the brake pads need to slide on. Later down the road, we are gonna have to do a brake flush on the whole system because it's not looking so good. But it's okay for now. We bleed out most of the bad braking fluid, but it's always better to do a complete flush. We are cleaning up the sliding pins and the dust boot, and we're installing some anti-seize. And now it's time to put everything back in place. This is the easy part. I spent a couple of hours doing the front brakes, but the rear ones were a real nightmare. We also went ahead and cleaned up the wheel well and the side of the transmission because we were missing the fender liner. And this vehicle is having some electrical issues because of that. We also are gonna clean up the fender liner before installing it. Now that everything is clean and dry, we are gonna install this fender liner. It has 3 bolts on the bumper and like 20 push pins. It's just crazy, but we're done with that part. Now the nightmare begins. I had been struggling with these stupid drum brakes for hours. I couldn't even take off the drum, and it was all glazed and rusted, and it has a bunch of brake dust. This is one of the main reasons I hate drum brakes. But we're gonna clean up everything before we install the new brake shoes. Always remember to do one side at a time, so that way you have the other side as reference, and don't forget to take pictures of every single part and component. Here is the new brake shoes. The bigger one always goes on the back, but in this case you can't mix them up because they have the handbrake on the rear shoe. I clean up the adjuster and put some lithium grease on the threads, so that way it won't get stuck while adjusting the brakes. I found it easier to lock in place the rear shoe pad before installing anything else. You gotta be so careful with these springs. Make sure they go all the way in, and make sure that the spacer it's on the right place. On the other side, I screwed up. I fucking forgot to install the rear brake shoe before anything else, so I had to start all over. And I am not sure what happened here, but I made a terrible mistake. Later on, you're gonna find out what it is. I am trying to pre-adjust the new brake shoes into the drum that we already took to the machine shop and get them turned as well. But something wasn't right. I couldn't get the brake drum to adjust to the brake shoes, and I was having a real hard time. At this point, I thought everything was okay. I'll just need to adjust these brake shoes, but I couldn't. and it was taking me a while. The next day that I test drove this car, this happened. It was making this terrible noise, but not before the rear left tire got seized while driving the car, making the vehicle swerve and almost hitting an oncoming vehicle. We also found out that this tire was about to blow up, and a couple of months ago we took this vehicle onto a road trip to New Mexico without knowing that this tire was bad, because the damage were on the inside of the tire. So we went ahead and ordered and used tire from the same brand and size from eBay. After inspecting the brakes, our shop dog found out that the lower spring on the brake shoes just came off, allowing one of the brake pads to get stuck on the drum. Luckily, we don't have any damages either on the brake shoe or in the drum. But later on, when I tried to adjust these brake shoes, I made another fucking mistake. I tried to force the drum in, and guess what? It got real stuck. I was struggling with these stupid brake drums for hours. I even have to use a breaker bar just to try to make the drum turn. It was a real fucking nightmare. This is why I hate brake drums. This is when it all went south. I was struggling with this breaker bar for at least 40 to 50 minutes. I even had to use the jack to make the drum turn. But after all that, the vehicle is done with no issues. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.